Well, hello there, people that are and hello again, I'm TheMBmulti, and welcome back to my Doki Doki Literature Club. My Doki Doki Purist? DDLC Purist Mod, that's all you need to remember. Officially, I believe it's called DDLC Purist Mod, with mod actually being in the name, officially, but, you know, Doki Doki Purist, essentially. In the previous episode we went grocery shopping with Natsuki, and MC didn't get any sleep last night apparently. It's hard for me to tell with how tired I am. In the end it doesn't really matter, another day means another session with the literature club, although that's not to say that's a bad thing. Which reminds me, I wonder how Natsuki is doing. I mean, things were a bit awkward after we left the grocery store. No, that's the wrong way to think about the wrong way to think about things. If I keep getting nervous about this, I'm not going to get anywhere. In the end, what's going to happen will happen. For now, I just need to live my life the way I normally do. And so, I turn off my alarm clock and get ready to go to school. With another dull day of classes over, did I even mention that I hate French class? I head over to the literature club. Do they even teach French in Japan? I don't even think they do. Well, maybe as an extra curriculum or something, but I doubt it's part of the regular classes. I believe the only languages they teach in Japan are Japanese and English. And then perhaps you can take extra classes for things like Chinese or Korean. Since those would be the most logical, right? Not French. I walk into the room and see all the members doing their own thing. The exception to this is Natsuki, who is sitting with her head down at her desk. It's possible that she's asleep, but it's hard to tell. Whoa, hey Monika. Hey Mark, it's good to see you came. After greeting Monika, Yuri, and Sayori, I walk over to Natsuki. Natsuki, you awake? Natsuki slowly rubs her eye, and after realizing it was my voice she heard, her head perks up. I'd like to think she perked up because it was my voice specifically, but I'm jumping to conclusions at this point. It's about time you showed up. Natsuki stretches her arms and yawns. Did you not get much sleep last night? I guess you could say that. Was something keeping you up then? I had been thinking of something a lot, yeah. Nothing to do with you or anything like that. Yeah, same here. Huh? I probably could have worded that better. Oh, it's nothing. I had trouble sleeping last night too. Yeah. Either we were both tired or we were both flustered, but it was clear that we had been confused by what was going on, yet didn't question it. Oh, she just fades away into obscurity. Maybe it was both. I did know for sure that things had felt different lately. So, what should we do today? Natsuki yawns again and closes her eyes. There's always manga. I'd like it if you'd read to me, actually. Natsuki quickly opens her eyes, realizing how strange it is for her to say something like that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just super tired, okay? It feels strange to see a side of Natsuki that's this calm, like her tense attitude is worn off. That has to be the effect that not getting enough sleep has on some people. We spent some time reading manga together. Although Natsuki asked me to read to her because she was tired, she went back to being her usual self pretty soon. Okay everyone, we all turned towards Monika. Since it's been a while since we've held an event, I was thinking of things we could do. We participated in the school festival only a few days ago though. As I was saying, I decided Alright, Monika. As I was saying, I decided that we should do something nice and simple to help us get to know each other better. As long as it's not something stupid like... Natsuki is interrupted. That's right, we're doing something stupid. That's right, we're doing show and tell. Show and tell? You mean that thing where you bring an item and you tell people about it? Isn't that like something only little kids do though? Yeah, but it still holds a lot of value. For one thing, it's good for improving our public speaking skills. Not that you guys did a bad job at the festival, but there's always room for improvement. It'll also help us get to know each other better. Especially you, Mark, since you haven't been part of the club for that long. This is embarrassing. Couldn't you have picked something less terrible? Just because half the people here act like kids doesn't mean that we have to treat them like it. I'll admit I was running out of ideas for events, and this was the last one I could think of, but still. Then do you have any event ideas that come to mind, Natsuki? Natsuki stops to think. Well, come on, Yuri. You shouldn't put someone on the spot like that. It seems like it was my time to step in. Why don't we write poems together? We already do that. That's the point of the club, Mark. Oh yeah. Actually, I have a potential suggestion. Go ahead, Yuri. We can write all our names down on separate slips of paper and draw them out of our hats. The name that gets picked decides on an activity that they enjoy. For example, if Natsuki's name was picked, we could all read manga together. This would encourage us to broaden our interest while ensuring that the selection process is completely fair. Well, what does everybody else think? Sounds good to me. It might work, but don't expect me to show up if it's something dumb. I'll drag you there then. How about we do a raffle? How about we do the raffle now and sort out the details later? I agree. I will set that up. Yuri writes down everyone's names and then comes up. Yuri writes down everyone's names and then comes up to us with a request. We'll need something along the lines of a hat to put these in. I have a cat beanie if that'll work. Natsuki grabs a beanie out of her backpack. It has the design of a cutely drawn grey cat, which is something I'd expect from her at this point. It's your beanie, so you should probably draw the names, Natsuki. In a few moments, the drawing is already over. Natsuki looks at the paper that was drawn and reads it. Mark, of course! Wait, me? Yes, you! I didn't expect to win the raffle, honestly. It was only a 1 in 5 chance after all, but I guess it's all on me now. So, what event do you have in mind? Oh, interesting. I can actually pick what to do. Bake something, watch anime, read manga. Right, an event. I didn't think about what I'd choose for an activity either. It should be something both me and Natsuki would enjoy though. Yeah, fuck the others! Fuck the others, just me and Natsuki. Great idea, MC. Fucking fantastic. I don't know. I mean, I might watch anime would be quite fun, especially if it is something adapted from a manga or novel or something. Then the job would be comparing it to the source material, and then we could have a discussion about that. Because, you know, Natsuki would already pick this. That has zero things to do with literature. So I guess watch anime, I guess. Why don't we all watch some anime? That idea isn't half bad, actually. Our school has an AV room. What the hell does that even mean? Animation video room? So they probably have a projector we can borrow. It's settled then. I'll go there and see if they have something we can use. What are you going to choose for us to watch then, Mark? I hope it's something good. Come on, you already know I have good taste. Hey, that's still up for debate. I'll pick something good, I promise. I take a deep breath and prepare to say something clever. It's not about the anime anyway. What's important is spending time with you. Oh, fucking hell. And the rest of the club, I mean. Well, I thought it was halfway clever at least. Natsuki doesn't look convinced though. Yeah, the club. But we're getting off topic anyway. Wait, since Monika said she's going now, does that mean that we're doing it today? Right now, actually. I turn around to see... Also, I just realized that my face comes in the wrong position. There we go. I turn around and see Monika by the club room door. It only takes a few minutes, but Monika and Yuri return with a laptop and a projector to get it set up. In the meantime, Sayori, Natsuki and I push a few desks around so that we can sit on the floor and have a clear view of the screen. Alright, that's the last desk. Oh. I was hoping to sit down next to Natsuki, but I see that Yuri and Sayori are already sitting down next to her. Coming up with an excuse on the spot, they try to figure out a way to get Natsuki over here. Oh my god, you're being a bit too desperate here, my MC version. Natsuki, over here, there's a glare over there, so it'd be better if you came over to this side. Well, granted, there wasn't actually any glare, but... Anyway, I'm only doing this because of the glare, so don't get any ideas. An hour passes as we all sit down and watch a variety of anime. What do you mean a variety? Just one episode of various series? That's a bit weird. Natsuki and I are the only ones invested, but the others look like they're still having fun, so I'd consider that a success. Well, why do you consider that a success? A few lines ago you didn't even give a single fuck what they thought. What the hell? At least it would have ended up normally, until I looked over at Natsuki and realized I subconsciously made a giant mistake. I mutter under my breath, crap. It's nothing. Did I actually put my arm around her? With everyone else watching too? This is unbelievably awkward. Trying to be as stealthy as I can, I slowly move my arm away off of her shoulder. Well, keep it there. Whoa! Huh? I was cold anyway. Right. I have no idea what happened there, but afterwards the rest of the day seemed to vanish. I definitely had fun the whole way through, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Life's looking brighter than ever. I don't think anything could bring it down like at this point. Famous last words. Yeah, okay, well, there wasn't anything literature related. It was literally just watching anime and nothing more. I kind of was expecting it for a literature theme to be attached to it. I mean, it's like not... It's something that you can do, especially with... I mean, this was anime specifically, but something especially that you can do with a movie that is based on a book or something. And sort of analyze the themes and things that are different about the movie and the book. And then have a discussion about that, whether that was a good idea to exclude that or include this or whatever. Because, you know, a lot of the time when people make an adaptation of a book or whatever... a lot of the times they go, oh, all you need to do is just copy paste the book and then everybody's happy. Like, yeah, well, it doesn't necessarily work like that. Especially in books where you read a lot of the character's thoughts. The story just gets paused as the character very thoroughly describes a feeling or whatever. But then in reality, that's just a few seconds or whatever that go past. You can't necessarily just do exactly that in a book or in a movie. That doesn't translate very well. It's a bit makes things a bit weird when you copy it down to the letter in some cases. So some things in books don't lend very well to movies, and also the other way around. Sometimes they do things in the movies because, oh, that happens in movies, but that could be like completely the opposite point of the of what's going on in the book or what the book stands for or something. Yeah, so that could have been a fun literature club activity. First, everybody reads the same book together, and then we all watch the movie together, and then discuss what we thought of it, which we liked better, the movie or the book, and why. Point out all the differences that we saw between the movie and the book, and then discuss those differences. Did we like them? Were they good changes? Were they bad changes? I mean, sometimes the movie sort of elevates the book if the book was mediocre, and then just the concept of the book was great, but the execution was done a bit poorly, and then the movie sort of understands that and goes beyond something that could happen. So yeah, I was kind of expecting it to be more literature related like that, but no, it was literally MC just going, oh, I have to choose something specifically that Natsuki would like, because fuck the rest of the club. I mean, I've already mentioned that a couple of times in a couple of videos in this playthrough already, where I thought it was a bit stupid where we just so aggressively go on this person's route. Because, you know, I get it, we're on the Natsuki route, so we're going to focus on MC and Natsuki, but the degree at which the MC cuts out everybody else and just focuses on Natsuki only is a bit ridiculous. And not just Natsuki, also with Yuri and with Sayori and the other routes. So that's something I'm just a bit on the fence about in regards to this mod specifically. I feel like it's a bit over the top. Just, not necessarily that I completely hate it, it's just a bit, you know, something that's, I understand, but at the same time, I wish they did it differently. I personally prefer it if they would do it differently, you know? Not trying to say that this is bad, because I can also understand the flip side where you're going on the Natsuki ride and then you spend lots of time with all the others the whole time. And you may be wondering, excuse me, I thought I was on the Natsuki route, so I can understand that point of view as well. But I prefer it if there's a bit more interaction or consideration at the very least for the others. MC literally just said, fuck the others, I only care about Natsuki. I'm just like, that is not what I really like about Doki Doki Literature Club. Even when you go towards one specific girl's route, I prefer there still to be interactions with the others, even though I'm not on their route, you know? Whatever. Just my personal opinion, not necessarily... You don't necessarily have to do anything with that. I just wanted to mention it because it's something that I... Yeah. Again, it's not necessarily that it irritates me to the point where I hate the mods. That's way too over the top. But it's just something I keep noticing every time I play this mod. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. That's a bit... It ruffles my feathers the wrong way, so to speak, you know? So I can't help but call it out a tiny bit. But once again, it's just my personal opinion. You may be going, oh, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. I prefer it this way. Like, that's entirely valid as well. I'm just saying what I'm thinking. But yeah, I was kind of expecting a bit more literature related. That's also why I didn't... I'm actually curious what would have happened if I picked baking something. Because that has absolutely zero to do with literature. Reading manga, of course, has something to do with... Actually, no, it doesn't, because manga isn't literature. But, you know, reading manga has something to do with literature. Like I said, depending on the way you spin it, watching anime can also have something to do with literature. But baking has very little to do with it. I guess it is about following a cookbook or something. But then the focus would be more on the book than the baking, you know? So I'm kind of curious what the other girls would have said if we suggested baking. Obviously, Natsuki would say that was a great idea, but I wonder if Monika was like, I don't know, if you maybe you want to go to the baking club then, if you like to bake so much, because this is the literature club. That's kind of not what we do here at all. Also, we have zero facilities for that in the literature club. You know, it's not like a home ec room where there is actually furnaces and stuff like that, and ovens to bake in, and the utensils and everything. So it would be really difficult to do it in the literature club. And I feel like, you know, if Natsuki is picked, then she would do the read manga thing, so I wouldn't really want to suggest that, because then Natsuki... Then also the other way around, then, you know, I'm suggesting what Natsuki would suggest then, and everybody's like, why are you suggesting what Natsuki would suggest? But yeah, you could also just read the same, like, just do a book club in the sense that you do just like one book reading, you know, like everybody reads the same book and then at the end you talk about it, and then every individual club member picks the book out. Or maybe story writing, because, you know, they did poetry writing, but story writing is something different. I mean, it could be tied in with that manga. I mean, that seems to be completely dropped as of now. The writing our own manga plotline that was introduced a few episodes ago and now has never returned again. So maybe it could have been tied in with that, where we suggested writing that together. Maybe all as a collective, all 5 of us. Or maybe one person writes a chapter and then the other person has to continue with the next chapter. And then the only information you get is the previous chapter from the previous person, you know, sort of in a train. Yuri goes first, for example, writes the first chapter, then Yuri gives her chapter to Natsuki, for example, and then Natsuki has to write chapter 2 based on that, and then once she's done, she gives her chapters to Sayori, and Sayori writes chapter 3, something like that, and then you write a story like that, and you'll have to... And it's not necessarily about writing exactly what you... That's sort of the lesson that would be given there, right? It's not the point of writing exactly what you wanted to write. It's the adaptability, the flexibility, the creativity. For example, maybe you were setting something up when you wrote your chapter, but when it loops all the way back around to you, the story has gone in a completely different direction, so you have to go with the flow, so to speak, you know? Because then it would be extremely jarring if you very rigorously force the story back in your original direction, because that's very selfish, and also it reads badly when all the chapters lead up to some sort of natural progression, but then when it loops back to your chapter again, then you go completely the opposite way, because no, I want to do it this way. So, you know, that would be something interesting, something fun. Could be difficult, maybe initially it doesn't go very well, but that's exactly the point. It's just learning how to do that stuff, just like what Monika said. And that show and tell thing that Monika suggested could be fun if you do it with a book, maybe a book presentation. Just pick out your favorite book and then talk about it. And the others ask questions and you have to just like articulate yourself well and stuff like that. Just a few examples there, Monika. I know you're always listening. So here's a few suggestions from me to you.